So in this video, I want to show you my process of doing the ad creatives. The ad creative process actually starts while I do my product and supplier research. While I do those type of research, I try to look for photos because photos is very, very, very important. We want to use a attractive photo. So while I do the research, I try to look for photos that are attractive, that are professional. If not, I at least look for the photos that I can easily modify. So I can change it to however I like and design it a little bit, put a few touch, but that photo must be, easily modified. So I pick a few photos that I think will be a great example to show you. So I'm going to take watch niche as an example. So the reason why I picked this photo is because the background is just white. It's very easily to change it, to modify it. And you can just cut off the white background and then put it onto whichever background you want. You can have a black background or a complete different background that has a good contract with these watches. And I'm going to show you in a sec of how to do exactly that. I also picked this photo as well because sometimes the image and the photo is great, is amazing, but the background is not white. And I'm going to show you how to remove your logo if the image is not white. Because if the image is white and you want to remove the logo, it's perfectly easy. So I found a tool online. It's called, I usually use Photoshop. It's what I'm used to, but I found a tool online. It's called pixlr.com/editor, which I will share with you later in a reference sheet. This basically is like Photoshop, but it's online and it's free, so feel free to use it. I'm going to try to do a demo on here. I'm not used to it, but I'm going to try to show you a demo on here and show you exactly what I'm about to do. So over here, I'm going to start with this image that has a logo, open, image. And then I'm going to open this file that I just saved. Okay, so since it's just white, we can basically just erase it. But I have to first find where the eraser is. Okay, so I kind of want to just go over this toolbox over here because when you look at it and you know nothing about design or Photoshop, it will get very confusing. So this tool right here, you move your mouse over, you will see it's a crop tool. What crop tool does basically just crops the image however you like. Once you crop the image, you can, like I did earlier, you just drag and drop. I'm going to show it to you again. So I'm going to drag this little cursor right here and to however I like, and then let it go and then hit enter. And that will be the size that you want, but that's not what I want. So I was just showing it as an example. This is a select tool for, selecting what area do you want. Once you select it, everything you modify in this little square will not go outside of the square. So I'm going to show you an example. So let's say I'm going to put a brush tool on it. I'm going to start painting. See, I could paint outside of the box and it's not doing anything. I'm going to select it. And this wand tool is very useful. You're going to be using it later to delete your background. I'll kind of show it to you. But right now, I kind of want to just focus on a few tools that you need. This logo right here, we don't need anymore, so we're going to erase it. So the eraser tool is right here. So I'm going to just erase, and I wanted to erase a little bit faster, so I'm going to come over here to choose a bigger erase size. So that's it. Now we have just erased the logo, and then you can put this on your product page. Now, for if let's say I want to change the background color to a complete different color. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select the wand tool, and I'm going to select the white background. And then when you press shift, see, you select this white background right here, but this part is not selected. How you see is that these dotted line right here, okay, that means it's selected. This part is not selected, but we need all of them to be selected in order to make changes. So I'm gonna press shift on your keyboard while I click mouse and select this area, okay? And same thing, hold on to shift and then press this white area that I want to delete. Hold on to shift and press this white area that I'm going to delete later. Okay, same thing over here. Okay, once I have made sure that I selected all of my background color, what I'm going to do is I want to delete it. However, I cannot delete it because it's not going to make any difference. The reason why that is because this image has this lock icon. So what I'm going to do is double click on the lock icon. Okay, once it's free, then I can delete it. Now the background image is gone. So now I'm going to deselect. The easiest way to deselect is Control D. Okay, now it's not selected anymore. I want to create another layer and move it under the watch. That means, and I'm gonna put whatever color I want. This way, whatever changes that I make onto this layer will have no effect on the watch. So the watch is a layer on its own. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a different color. So let's say I want, I don't know, yellow. Okay, or I want blue, a dark blue. Dark blue sounds good. Okay, a dark blue. No, this is already a pretty, to be honest, I think this image goes well with white because this is already black, so I don't want black on black. So I'm just gonna do white, do gray. So to keep it simple. So, oh, oops. Okay, so as you can see, now I selected this layer, so anything that I do will not affect this watch layer. So what I'm going to do is put gray color onto it. Now I'm gonna go back to to select this move tool. Then, oops, Control Z. I'm gonna go back and move my watch however I like and make changes. Okay, so this is just a simple way of how you can change your background. Now, if you want a different background, you could go ahead and change it, or if you have another stock image that you would like to use as your background, you can also do that as well. The next thing I'm going to show you is this image. Okay, so this image, I think I saved it. Did I save it? I did save it. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to remove your logo from this image. Okay, so this image, this part is not white. So you could simply erase it, but watch what happens when you erase it. It becomes white and it's not matching with the whole photo. So we don't really want to do that. There is another tool called Stamp Tool, Clone Stamp Tool. What you can do is you click this Clone Stamp Tool and then you can basically copy the same background and then stamp it onto here. So what I'm going to do, this circle is too big. I'm going to change the brush size to maybe 20. Okay, so what I'm going to do is you have to select the area that you want to copy. How you do that is before you click on anything, you have to hold on to Control. Not hold on. So yes, hold on to Control and then click on the area that you want to copy. So let's say, this whole area is this color. So I'm going to hold on to Control, click, and then I'm going to stop doing this. See, now it's copied. I will highly recommend to use this kind of brush because this is too solid. This is at least it's kind of, it's like a feather like, so it doesn't give a feel of strong edges. So I'm just going to, every time you do it, hit Control, click, and then hit Control, click, and then you brush it off, stamp it. Hit Control, click, you brush it off. Hit Control, click, and then brush it off. Okay, now you can save this image as it is. Now the logo is gone and you still have a perfect image without the logo and still have that beautiful background color. Now, here comes another thing that I want to talk about because this is a square size photo, okay? Sometimes on Facebook ads, in order for your ads to fill up the whole entire Facebook screen, the feed screen, they require a certain size. I believe the size is 800 by 1200. So we want to prolong it to make it long, vertically. But how do you do that? If you add more space on top or on the bottom, the background is just white. So I'm going to show you exactly what I would do. So now, if you look at this image, now the logo is gone. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change the canvas size. You come over here to image, and then you go to canvas size. Now this is the anchor because if you look at this photo at the bottom of it, this is connecting to something. So I don't want to change. I'm too lazy to change and continue to stamp and all that. So I'm just gonna keep the bottom part the same. I'm not gonna add any space on the bottom. I'm going to add some space on the top. So I can make some modify. So let me show you what I'm going to do. So canvas anchor is going to be right here. I'm going to make the height a little bit longer. I'm going to make it, let's say 1,000. Okay, so 1,000. Now you see how this empty space is completely white and it's not matching with the whole photo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, I'm going to stamp again. This is going to take a while. So I'm going to click, control, hold on to control, click, and then move. Okay, and this is going to take a while, and because I want to have a shorter demo video, so I'm just showing you how you can do it, and you do have this side too, and then I'm going to jump to the photo that I have already created. So this is the finished image of the product image that we just did. So you notice that this is now the size of a rectangle, longer version of it. It's easier for you to scale to match with the Facebook feed ad, which if I remember correctly is 1200 by 800. Now the reason why we want to do this is because if you scale it with a square image, it's harder to do it that way, and also you would most likely cut off a big portion of your product image. So we don't want to do that. That's why we created this image to further make it easier for you to scale it. So now you notice that although this image is done and complete, however, not really, because if you take a look at it, this is kind of empty over here. And if I were to sell this image and I wanted to promote our product, I actually wouldn't leave it empty. I would actually want to put our own logo on top. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you here. You go to Canva. Okay, and you come over here to use custom dimensions. We want to create the size that can put into your Facebook feed ad. The width will be 800, height will be 1200 pixels in design. Now we're going to upload our image, and once you click on it, it's now on your canvas, and then you can start scaling it. It's easier to scale that way, and I'm gonna make it not cut off anything. Now this part is a little bit empty, so I'm gonna put in our logo. And I just made a temporary logo that we can use. Let's say I already uploaded the logo. I'm gonna put it right here. So now I have my logo, I have my product, so it doesn't look as empty. Now that you're done, you can go ahead and download the image. Okay, so we're going to download, and it will be saved onto your computer. Now keep in mind that sometimes your Facebook ads, the ad size will be square, 1200 by 1200. Even if you download a photo from AliExpress, it looks like a square image, you will still want to resize it to 1200 by 1200. So it'll fill up the whole Facebook feed when you put it on your Facebook ads. So how you do it is to come back to Canva again, canva.com, and over here to use custom dimensions. You're gonna click on this, and you're gonna put 1200 by 1200 pixel. Okay, and then press design. Now you can use the original photo that is square and then just put it on here to scale, or you can also use the one that we just created and just scale it this way and pull it and then move it up. So we still have a square image, but on a 1200 by 1200 pixel. And then again, download it and save onto your computer. So that's about it about the process of my creative ad creative. So what we kind of talked about today is you find, do your best to look for images that are professional and attractive. If you can't find images like that, at least do your best to look for images that are, that you can easily modify, that has a clean background, or it's just a logo where you can erase. So that's one thing. Another thing, we talked about how to change the background color by selecting your background with the one tool. And then we also talked about how to make your image a little bit longer in order to easily scale the size to the size you want for your Facebook ads. And so that's about it for this video, and I will see you in the next.